In this hands-on portion of the demo, we're going to take our existing database server that we've created and that we're rolling forward as our on the migration target. Because we deployed this through the factory, we're going to be able to ingest it back into our clone definition. And then once it's ingested back into our clone definition, we're actually going to be able to create a new database server, which is really a clone of this target system that would be available for read-write so that we can test it. And then finally, we're going to go back to our original database server, take the last of the archives, roll forward so that it's ready for the go live, and then open this database up to end the migration. And then once we've done that, we'll go back to the on-prem solution. We'll be SSHing into the Bastion host, but then that will then show you how we can tunnel in over here through 1521 and where we can then communicate from the on-premise over to the AWS database securely. Okay, once that completes, we can take a look at and see what was created. So you can see here's this new database that was created. What's relevant here, it's got a separate private IP. This did get created in the same network. We could have created a separate network altogether, but using the same network, I can then use the same Bastion to get to it. So I'll then be able to, instead of going to the original, actually it's what 66 is the new one. So I think we were at 172, yeah. So if we look at 66, will be the new guy, and now we can come in as Oracle, and let's see. Remember, we did say that we would be opening this database, so it should be up and running, and I guess we should check to see if that table's still there, or that was there. This would be the table that got created after a couple of log switches. So what's relevant here is this is a clone of it, but since it's from this, grabs the same S3 bucket, it takes that snap of our last snap, but we can actually roll forward from the archives, continuing past where our clone was, because we're just leveraging recovery. So it really shows you how far you can roll forward and leverage that database as a service. Okay, now we can go back to that original database server where we can actually look to roll forward and just kind of end that one, which is, again, that was the 172. So this would be kind of in our go live approach, although we've already kind of shown the go live through the clone, but we can still go back to that original database. I'm going to open it with reset logs, which we haven't rolled forward in a while, which will kind of end his game. If it was a hybrid solution, then it might behoove us to kind of keep this around or automate the communication of the backup so that could just continue the source. But otherwise, we would just kind of do that same approach that we were showing before, where we take a look at the backups that are there. We realize that there's a few extra to grab, and then we can go over and so this will LS and show me what else is there. And then there's a few, I think there's 3 or so that I haven't grabbed from when we were doing different testing from the other ones. So I can go and grab those guys. Oh, well, add my little dot at the end. So these will grab the individual files and pull them back over here so that we get the last of the files that were originally on the on-prem and that were pushed to S3. And now we're grabbing these. Some of these have actually already been used from that clone roll forward, but I just want to kind of complete the circle of doing this on the database server that we were originally going to be testing and rolling forward with. Sorry, keep grabbing the extra dot. And then once they're there, I need to then catalog them so I'll know about them. Currently he's only up to 11, but if we paste it in there. Again, it'll complain about like the password file that's there and try to archive or catalog everything, but what's not a backup won't cause us pain. So now if we take a look at what's there, we've got a few extra archives, and then we can take that SCN of that latest and greatest and kind of use that to roll forward a little bit further along. And it would be the same kind of recover command that we were using earlier. And technically, I guess I'm just going to go to the low. You could go all the way up to the end of that SCN for that archive. That does the last bit of recovery. And again, this could be the kind of where we just keep the thing, but if we were going to take it that last step, which would be, okay, we've rolled forward enough and this would be part of the go live. Now we want to go ahead and just simply open the database with reset logs, and that will roll it. Basically, this would be what we would do as part of the go live if this were a moving to a migration. Now we're going to go back to the on-prem and actually connect through the tunnel. Here's my TNS entry. The key components is it's just going localhost, and I'm going at 1522 to go over to that database, which is really going to, right now I'm going to try to, the tunnel's not up, so it won't be successful. So if I do a TNS ping on that bad boy, I get the no listener. So I created this alias that we're going to use to actually create the tunnel. The key component, that's the public address of the Bastion host. Here's the local 1522. There's the tunnel, the actual public or private database IP address, which is going to go into 1521. So that 1522 matches that one. Now I've start up the tunnel on another session. Over here, if I go back over and ping, now I know, see I get the actually successful. It doesn't give me the no listener. So that shows me that, hey, it looks like it's working. To confirm that, I can actually go into SQL Plus, and boom, I'm connected from on-premise over to AWS through the tunnel. And that's about it. Again, we took our database from over on-prem, copied it over to the S3 bucket, restored it over to the database, and then continued to roll forward as we needed to. Now, we're taking that same on-premise solution. It's whitelisted in to be able to connect to the Bastion. So the only one who can connect to the Bastion comes from this IP address and has this key that we shared. Once they connect, the security group limits this Bastion to be the only one who can connect to the Oracle database. The Oracle database communicates through 1521, allowed through the security group, and then the subsequent communication from the Bastion host back to the on-prem solution is encrypted through port 22 SSH. That's about it.